me just say, if you don't track your Pokemon Go spending, pay attention to this. It might it might give you a rude awakening for how much you spend on Go. If you're not adding it all up.
That. Yeah, it might backfire a little bit on him.
Yeah. Chris come April 30th and be like, hey, so how much money did you spend on Go this month?
That's not fair. There's a lot of hatching events in April. Leave me alone.
Exactly. They know what they're doing.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
It's time to spring into action during a new Flower Rain event.
Roll the dice to see what the future holds for you and your Tyrogue during this weekend's hatch event.
And more on this episode of GOCast. Hello and welcome to the GOCast podcast, episode 320. Whoa, I love round numbers. That's a nice one. It's April 3rd. It's a Tuesday. Wait, no, it's Thursday. It's Thursday afternoon. Time has lost all meaning. I don't know what day of the week it is. That was true as soon as it hit Monday. Boy, oh boy. April already. Can you believe it, Kyle?
Let's not talk about it.
The size said so much. A picture is worth 1,000 words, and one of your size is worth 10,000. That's for sure. I'm your host, Chris, and as always, I have with me my co-host, Mr. Cy over there, Kyle.
Hiya.
How you doing, Kyle? You doing all right?
Oh, I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
You must have been so busy
Happy
doing
Thursday.
Happy Thursday indeed. Yeah, normally when we record on Thursdays, for your schedule, you work really early, right? So it's kind of a long day for you. So thank you very much for being here. I appreciate it. I'm sure those at home listening appreciate it. And I'll do my best to mute/cut any yawns between the two of us. We both took naps prior to recording. I didn't tell you that, but I also did. So
I woke up like 15 minutes before we recorded. Or started recording at least.
You truly woke up like this, huh?
Yeah, I did wake up like this.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, well, cool. Let's talk about some goals we set last week. Those goals were set with a couple of events in mind. It was the Bug Out 2025 event and then the Fuzzy Buddy Research Day as well. So Kyle set 4 goals and I set a slew of goals. Let's start with you, Kyle. Did you get a Sizzlipede?
I did.
Spectacular. Did you fight Giovanni?
I did. Cleared out 3 research.
Oh my
gosh. Got a Palkia that I think was like let's just look. 11, 15, 10.
Oh.
So certainly could have been worse, but not very good.
It could have been worse, but not much worse. The 15 is nice, I guess, but yeah, the rest is, whatever. Hey, but you know what the most important part is? It's not the Palkia that you got. It's that you moved the needle on those research.
Yes, I did. And then they gave me a new one. I'm like,
they sure did. Yep. No. Don't they know? Don't they know? They're trying to keep you in the pocket. That's what they're doing. 200,000 experience. Did you get that?
I did get that.
Alrighty. And last but not least, 1 shiny.
I did.
What'd you get?
I got 2 shinies, and so this is a good one. So the day after we recorded, I finished the Chansey Community Day research, and one of my rewards was a shiny Chansey from the research, which I named Lachlan to never forget.
Oh,
and then 5 days later, I go plus another shiny Chansey. So
what?
I know that's what I said.
That's ridiculous.
I was just like, okay, sure. So yeah, that's what I got. I got 2 shiny Chanseys this week.
You had shiny Chansey prior to that, right?
I have. Neither of them are new.
Okay, I was about to say
it's not new.
Because then he would have the family done in one go, which is great. But hey, Okay, well, 4 out of 4 for you, sir. Well done, well done. I had a bunch of things here. I also wanted to catch a Sizzlipede. I actually caught like 8 or 9 of them. I'm saving them to trade because all of them were god awful. They were really, really bad. Kind of unfortunate. I wanted to do the Fuzzy Buddy Research Day ticket and the research that it came with, and I did do that. I went out and I finished that research day in about 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes. It was pretty straightforward. I'll share my shiny count in a minute here when I get to that part of the goal. The bug out ticket and research, I did all of that as well. Nothing too notable from that, unfortunately. I did get a shiny Wurmple during that time period. We like having a Wurmple. That's cool. And then 50 eggs. I fell short a little bit, although I'm going to make up for it this weekend. That's for sure. So I'm going to count that as a no. 2 shinies. Your boy got 10 shinies since we last recorded. I got the Wurmple I spoke of, a Phoebus, excuse me, a Lickitung. And then for the Fuzzy Buddy Research Day, which, again, bear in mind, I played this for 30 minutes maximum. I got 1 Teddiursa, 2 Cubchoo, and 4 Pancham.
Jeez.
Yeah, a very lucrative research day, that's for sure. And I liked that I could, like, get in and get out. It was really quite easy. I didn't have to spend the entire day doing it. I cleared all the tasks at the local college. I just kind of got on with my day. It was nice. It was a really good return on investment for my time. And then the new avatar items. Yes, you can look me up if I'm on your friends list. But if I am on your friends list, I apologize because I'm terrible at gifts. But if I am there, you can go take a look and confirm yourself. I am wearing the new coat and the Sizzlipede boots and stuff. I love it. It's wonderful.
And rocking a Berserker.
Yeah, Mugs
as a buddy.
Yeah, Mugs. We love him. He's a hundo Berserker. Dude, Berserker is such a good Pokemon. I don't understand people that don't like him. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 out of 6. Why don't you like Berserker?
I did. It's not an evolution. It's just more of the exact same. Like Berserker should have just been Galarian Meowth instead. Like. It's such a small change when you consider what the original step from Meowth to Persian was.
Yeah.
And then Meowth to Berserker. It just doesn't make any sense.
I think it does. We can agree to disagree.
We can agree that you're wrong.
All right. I'm down for that too. If only just because you're tired and I know that if I push, you're going to be like, I don't want to fight about this.
We'll talk about Berserker another day.
Well, yeah, we'll save that for some content in the future. That's for sure. But 5 out of 6 for me, 4 out of 4 for you. So technically, you win if you're going based on percentage. So congrats, Mr. Kyle. Well done. Well done. We've got some news to cover, and while there are 4 things for us to cover in the news, I don't think it'll take us over long. But it is important because we got some events coming up, and we got details about an event that's happening literally this weekend. So if you're listening to this when the show comes out, which I've been trying to do on Fridays, this will be new information for your Sunday this weekend. So stay tuned for that. Let's hop into it. Yo, what up? It's the news. Okie dokie. We've got a bunch of stuff to talk about. The first one is Spring into Spring. This is an event. Have we had a Spring into Spring before? I tried looking at the title. So. We've had spring events, but I don't think it's been titled this before.
Yeah.
Well, in any case, it's going to be starting on Wednesday, April 9th. That's next Wednesday as of this recording, at 10 a.m. to Monday, April 14th at 8 p.m. local time. There will be some event bonuses, 2 times lucky egg duration, 2 times candy from hatching eggs, increased chance to encounter shiny Remoraid and shiny Fletchling, and half egg hatch distance when eggs are placed into incubators during the event, which means that this coupled with the hatch day, we don't know this yet, spoilers, we're going to have a lot of half egg hatch distance going on the next week and a half. Very thrilled. So no, here's probably a highlight for a lot of people. I know that this is a highlight for at least DeFi for sure, because this is her Unite character. The debuts are going to be the flowering Pokemon Gossifleur and its evolution Eldegoss. It'll make their Pokemon Go debuts with this event. Let's talk about some wild encounters. This, of course, could not just be a straightforward list. There had to be some sort of caveat to it. In fact, 3 caveats. So the base pool is going to be Remoraid, Fletchling, and Gossifleur, which I would like to take a moment to pause and say, that's great for a few reasons. It's both of the Pokemon that have the shiny boost, and it's the new Pokemon. It's in the wild, folks. When you're asking, all the new Pokemon are in eggs or raid exclusives, or you have to do party play to get a tandem mouse. No. This time, this one's just, that was a very specific example. This one is just in the wild. And that's very notable, I think. Happy about that. Yeah. So let's talk about some of these caveats. The first of which is more frequently spawning from April 9th through the 10th will be in addition to the base pool I just said of those 3 Pokemon. You can expect to see Marill, Lotad, Ducklet, Dupiter, I can't remember which one's the correct one, and Lapras. From April 11th through the 12th, in addition to the base pool, you will also see Vulpix, Ponyta, Numel, Litleo, and Hisuian Growlithe. And then the 13th and the 14th of April to finish out the event will feature the base pool plus Oddish, Hoppip, Roselia, Cherubi, and everybody's favorite tall boy, Alolan Exeggutor. The last Pokemon named in each of those lists is, if you're lucky, trainer, you might find whatever. So Lapras, Hisuian Growlithe, and Alolan Exeggutor are the quote-unquote rare spawns in those pools. So keep that in mind. Now, let's talk about eggs, shall we? There's egg shakeups to 2 pools this time. They're not just focusing on 7Ks or 2Ks. No. It's 2Ks and 5Ks. And while I'm excited about that, I don't know if I'm so excited about these pools, but in the 2-kilometer eggs, we've got a few babies. We've got Magby, Badoo, and Mantike. And if you are still hunting that shiny Magby or that shiny Mantike, because those are the only 2 options, nobody is hunting shiny Badoo. There's no way, right? Unless you're brand new.
I mean, I think within like the last 2 years, you could be potentially shiny hunting a Badoo.
Well, it kind of depends on when we got the Roselia Classic, right? Didn't we have a classic for that one?
No.
The shiny Badoo has been boosted in eggs or for an event several times. This is the point I'm making, even if I can't remember the specific event. But anyway, so there's that. In the 5K pool, you'll see the trio that we mentioned at the very top in the wild: Remoraid, Fletchling, and Gossifleur. So you actually have 2 avenues of acquisition for the new debut Pokemon in the wild and in 5-kilometer eggs. Naught is said about raids. I would imagine they probably aren't shook up for this event. So is what it is. Field Reachers task rewards, complete those for Great Balls, Pinup Berries, Stardust, and encounters with event-themed Pokemon. I would imagine we might see Gossifleur in one of those. So that would be cool if you're looking for maybe a third way of getting it, if research tasks are your jam. There's going to be a paid time to research, because of course there is, for $2 dues US, or the equivalent in your local, currency, which who can say what that's going to be tomorrow or the day after? Oh my gosh.
Oh boy,
not to lift the veil. We don't get political here, but not to lift the veil a little bit. 5,000 experience, 1 lucky egg, 2 super incubators, and encounters with the trio: Remoraid, Fletchling, and Gossifleur. And then just to round it out, there will be collection challenges, plural, love that, showcases, of course. And in the web store, there's going to be the Spring into Spring Ultra Ticket Box, which is the same price for the paid time to research. It'll be $2, but this time you get +3 rare candies. So if you need rare candies like neither of us do, then that's a good purchase for you. So let's take a little pause here, Kyle, for a spring event. I'm eager to get your opinion. How do you feel about this?
I'll ask you a question. Have you seen many Gossifleur? It's only
not in Go.
Yeah, I think it's a silly looking Pokemon. That's all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's fine.
I like Eldegoss.
Eldegoss is great.
Although I think this is funny here. Okay. Eldegoss would be an absolutely nothing Pokemon to me if it wasn't like a launch support in Pokemon Unite. I don't think I ever thought twice about Eldegoss until I had to see it like every second game in Pokemon Unite.
That's a good point. I like this take.
So, like, I don't dislike Eldegoss, although I think that Gossifleur is, it's a strange progression.
Yeah, it almost feels like Gossifleur should be like a split Ev, and like Eldegoss would be something, and like a more like a colorful flower like one would be the other one. But I don't know. I think Eldegoss's design has got a bit more. It's got a bit more legs than what you're describing. Although I would imagine for a lot of people, it being a favorite might be because they played Unite at launch. I think that's a good point.
Yeah. The events. I like that the 3 Pokemon run through all of the days and stuff like that. I think it's needlessly complicated to change the spawns every 2 days to add 5 different spawns. Again, we've talked about this, that people like to have agency in what they're trying to go for. So, like, if you want Lotad, well, you got 2 days. I hope you get lucky.
At least they give you 2 days instead of 1, you know?
It's true. That's about it, really, in my opinion.
Okay.
It's nice to see it in the wild, of course. Like,
definitely.
It goes without saying. And it's not listed as rare, which is also great.
Yes. And I'm with you. I think all of those points are pretty valid. And I think it does check the box as a spring themed event. I think it's got a nod to eggs for the Easter stuff. It's got the flower stuff, a new debut that's a flowering Pokemon and a seeding Pokemon too. Like it makes sense. This tracks, as the kids would say. And I enjoy that. Cool. Well, let's talk about the event that's happening this Sunday. So before the other one that we just described, this one is Tyrogue Hatch Day. This will be Sunday, April 6th from 2 to 5 p.m. local time. The featured Pokemon will be, you guessed it, Tyrogue. Event bonuses for this event are 2 times candy from hatching eggs. You'll have an increased chance of hatching shiny Tyrogue and an increased chance of receiving 2-kilometer eggs from spinning Pokestops. There's going to be a timed research that will reward a super incubator and XP. That'll be free. And there will be a paid version for $2 that will give you 2 times Hatch Stardust, 1 star piece, 1 super incubator, and 2,500 experience. And if you'd like to buy the ticket for an extra $1, $2.99 on the web store, the bonus for that one is actually 3 super incubators. They're giving you like 50 cents.
That's pretty good.
Or $1? Yeah. Or $2? A super incubator is $1 or 50 cents. It's $1, right?
It's 150 Poke Coins, isn't it? For a super incubator, like raw, technically, but nobody's ever bought them like that.
No. Either way, it's a good deal if you want the supers like I do. So we will probably be buying that ticket.
200. Oh my god.
Okay, this is actually pretty decent.
Crazy.
That's fine.
I mean, this is like the rate that you get them from boxes normally.
Yeah, and that's fine.
So,
that's fine.
If you want a few incubators, I suppose.
I always want a few incubators. I'm in the market, man. Yeah. Let's talk about this second bit here, which is the Tyrogue Hatch Day extended bonus, which is what I was alluding to earlier. So from Friday, April 4th, so this Friday, actually tomorrow, at 10 a.m. to Sunday, April 6th at 5 p.m. local time, there's going to be a half egg hatch distance when eggs are placed into incubators throughout that time period. Field research task rewards. You can complete the tasks to earn Stardust and experience. There's going to be a web store Ultra Hatch box for $19.99 US that will have 15 super incubators, 10 regular incubators, and 5 Poffins. I think that's like just acceptable. I don't think that's a spectacular deal, but it's fine.
I think it's bordering on whether that's good or not. I think it's a little too expensive, actually, for what that is. But
really, yeah, because if it's $2 per super incubator, that's 30, and then it's a $1 for a regular incubator, right? So that's 10, 40, and then Poffins are $1 a piece.
It's $1.50 for regular incubators.
Oh my god! So 15 plus 30, 45. Poffins are what, $1?
Yeah. technically.
Okay. All right. So $50 worth of value, a la carte for $20. It's a regular deal. It's a regular deal.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty standard to be like that would be about like 1,800 Pokecoins if it wasn't money.
But it is sadly money. Mr. Squidward, it's money. I will also say, and I didn't include it in the notes here because I didn't think it was notable, and now we're talking about value and whether or not people will or should buy it. There's a limit of 3 of these per person, so they think that it's got value to it. So I guess hey, maybe we need to be more optimistic.
Who's buying 3 of these? Don't do that.
I think maybe 1 is the play, right? There's going to be a regular event bundle in the normal store, a Hatchbox bundle. This will be for 925 Pokecoins. You get 5 incubators, 5 super incubators, and 2 lucky eggs. This is a much more standard sort of box. Value assessment is not much different than the other box. The other box is a better deal, for sure. But not so much that I'm like, oh my God, if you had to choose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. There's no limit on this.
One is coins and one's money. So that's
right.
The key difference here.
Right, exactly. So do what you will with that information. So this is happening on a Sunday. So I know the answer to this question, Kyle, but I'll ask it anyway. Are you excited for Tyrogue Hatch Day?
No, not really. I don't know if I'd play it if it was on a Saturday either. Like I might. I'm not down for buying incubators. I am at the point where I will buy incubators for 2 occasions. One is GoFest, and the other is if I'm going to actively go out for Go Tour.
Okay.
Not necessarily the in-person one, but just playing the global. I would buy incubators then. A hatch day, I don't think is ever going to get me to spend money on incubators.
Oh, okay.
There are a couple exceptions, obviously, but
have we had any exceptions for you? I can't think of a hatch day in like recent memory that you were like hype about.
I wasn't hyped for it, but I played Riolu Hatch Day.
Oh yeah,
and I wasn't like I didn't like grind hard, but I think I got like 5 shinies.
Yeah. It wasn't over difficult to hatch. They were all in 2Ks, so that's what they do.
Yeah. So no, hatch days do not appeal to me. I'm not interested in spending more money to then have to walk to get my Pokemon.
You know what's really funny with this event description? Which by the way, first of all, I just want to acknowledge the fact that that's fair. And I understand that being excited about hatch days for important meta Pokemon like Tyrogue is very much a GOCast Chris problem only. I understand that. That's okay. Putting that aside for a minute here, rereading this, they imply that Tyrogue will hatch from 2-kilometer eggs. They do not anywhere here say that. They don't talk about the hatch pool at all. We don't know if it's going to be just Tyrogue or Tyrogue heavy.
It is a little bit strange.
Yeah. The 2 things it does say is increased chance of hatching a shiny Tyrogue and an increased chance of receiving 2-kilometer eggs from spinning Pokestops. So it might be in even more than just the 2Ks. It might be in all the pools.
I was going to say it might be in all 3 pools.
Yeah.
And, you have an increased chance of getting 2 kilometers, so you're more likely to hatch more eggs in general.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay.
But that feels so bad to get a 10K egg during an event like this, especially if you're not running 9 incubators at a time.
Oh, yeah. Well, at least it's half,
Yeah,
so.
But like that's if you don't have the super incubator to put it in, for example, that feels bad.
Yeah, I would.
So I hope it's not the case, but that is how it reads.
Yeah. So yeah, just for some easy math, even though that's not what we do here. If you do get a 10-kilometer egg, worst case scenario, you get a 10-kilometer egg, and you do use a super on it because it's half. With the super, it'll be 1.7. which is really, really quite easy to walk. So it's not the end of the world. Now, do you want the 2Ks at the half hatch and throw them in a normal so that they're 0.5 kilometers and you just burn through them on your freebie if you're not crazy like me? Yeah, of course you do. I'm just saying a 10K is really not the end of the world.
No, well, it's not the end of the world if you
have a super.
Yes.
Yeah.
That said, also this Sunday it is going to be a nice high of 50, low of 35 here because the weather can't make up its mind. So a terrible day for a hatch day.
Oh, I'm out there in jeans and a hoodie, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, well,
not everybody has the installation I have. I understand. I'm blessed. As a Midwest man, I'm blessed with the stature I have. Everywhere else I die. That's why I don't live there. Okay. Anyway, I'm excited for this, and I'm excited to tell you how great of a time it was, and for you to roll your eyes and be like, "Okay, Chris, whatever, man. Way to spend $50 on a Sunday for digital goods."
Yep.
Okay, we got two more things real quick. This next one is the Go Pass April. So there's a whole bunch of details on this, but we're gonna make it really short because it's really not that complicated. It's not. You guys remember the pass during Go Tour? It's that. They're gonna start rolling that out per month. It's the same idea as the Tour Pass from Unova. There's going to be a free version and a paid version. The paid version will have faster progression and upgraded rewards. And the rewards will, we're assuming, change per month since they labeled this Go Pass April. Now, this is not available to everybody quite yet. This is being tested in select regions or trainers or whatever the case might be around the world. So if you are like Kyle and I and just left out in the cold when it comes to this, you're not alone. I would argue that you actually have good company. But if you are doing this, that's pretty cool. I don't really see a downside. I mean, yes, it's another opportunity for you to spend money on something, but there is a free version, which is pretty cool. And the Tour Pass, I think even for people that didn't finish it or didn't play very hard for the Go Tour event, generally speaking, the response was rather positive.
Yeah. I mean, I do think so. I have questions about this because I haven't seen info online, and maybe you have. How do the levels work for this? Because it was definitely very customized for the Tour Pass.
Oh, I think it's still general stuff. I think it's catching and hatching and raids.
But is it stuff. Are you like limited per day like you were to the lead up?
Oh, no.
Or is it as much as you want?
I don't know for sure, but I see no reason why they would do that. I didn't see anything about that.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could see a reason why they would do that. That's not be ridiculous here. Most battle pass type things have a limit to how much you can get per week and per day, depending on the game. So
okay,
it's pretty common practice. That's why I'm curious. Because if there's no limit, this is just great. I think the limit in the lead up to tour was a little bit rough. If that would be what they're going to go with, that would probably make completing it for the average player pretty difficult.
I think the limit leading up to tour was tough because they didn't communicate it well whatsoever. People were like, "Oh, there's no way I'm going to be able to get this done even with the event. What's happening here?" Because they didn't know that it was a temporary limit.
Yeah, well, they also didn't know that come the event they literally doubled all the points. So
right, yeah, that's true too.
That's why I'm curious how the points are working with this trial. And it's a bit sad that because it's a whole month, we may have to wait until May before more people get this now.
Yeah,
if it works successfully. It also could be not successful, and come May, it just goes away and we don't hear about it again for 6 months.
Like, yeah, it's possible.
I don't expect that. I think that the Tour Pass was successful enough that it won't take them that long to fine tune it for the rest of the game, though.
Yeah. Plus, I think anything that has a monetization option that people are not just objectively sour on is something that they will invest in. You know. Plus, we've been talking about battle passes in this game since it came out. Like this is just the natural progression of things. You know.
This does hurt though, that it is like not available for everybody. I understand like the testing and all of that kind of stuff, but this is pretty significant.
I don't understand the testing.
Well, I mean,
isn't that what tour was? Didn't we?
But it only lasted like a weekend.
Did we do the LA, the small group, and then we did the global, the big group? Why we
look? All we know, if they had implemented it to everybody all at once for a whole month, the entire game would have caved in on itself.
No, I don't think so.
It's all written.
I don't think so.
Like at the very least, GBL would have broken.
Yeah, of course, unrelated. Oh, there is, by the way, a shiny trinket in this again.
That's partly what I was leading to. I wasn't going to detail, but like there is a lucky trinket. There's a bunch of Stardust. You can buy to get pay to get premium goods and stuff like that. There's battle passes, lucky eggs, incense incubators, that kind of stuff.
There's plenty of stuff in it.
Yeah. So it's like, it's not that big a deal, like in my opinion, but I could see the argument for like, hey, why does this 10% of players get to have these options? You know, I don't know how many people actually got it. I'm just making a number up. I'm sorry.
I don't either. Because this just happened. It's only the 3rd. And I don't sit on the subreddit like I used to. That's for sure. No, it's fine. I still don't get it. I feel like, you know, you just said like, oh, they could have rolled it out for everybody for a month and it would have broken the game or whatever. But at the same time, the same mentality for me, it equals to like, oh, we've had 5-star raid bosses forever. Oh no, a new one is coming out. We better test it in New Zealand for a week prior to everybody else. That doesn't make sense. They have a track record of it. They've done it successfully. Like this isn't just swapping out text and editing the parameters for how long it's in your app for. I don't know. I mean,
I agree. I just, it feels a little bit bad. Selected testing.
I tell you what, though, man, if we were in the test market, we would not be saying this. We would not care. No,
that's not true.
I wouldn't care.
I definitely would be saying it. I'm not a hypocrite in that regard, because I can recognize like, hey, we've had plenty of privilege when it comes to Go, so you got to be able to recognize that. And it's just still feels a little bad.
Okay. Right.
For most of the player base, it literally doesn't matter if somebody else gets more items than you, though. Like, while there is PvP in this game, let's face it, 99.99% of players will never PvP, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and also, like, it doesn't matter how many lucky eggs you have when you're playing in GBL. You know,
but there's Candy XL and Star Pieces and Stardust, I guess.
Yeah, but it doesn't prohibit you. It just makes it a little easier, you know?
Yes.
It's not even like much easier. It's only like a little bit easier, you know? Anyway, let's move on to the last thing here, which we'll have probably a similarly flavored conversation about. This is the April Reward Road. Unlike the Go Pass April, I believe we all actually have this Reward Road thing. So let's talk about what this is. The Pokemon Go web store is getting an upgrade starting April 1st. The new Reward Road program will launch on the Pokemon Go web store. So what is this? Reward Road is a monthly reward program where trainers can earn reward points with eligible purchases on the Pokemon Go web store or in-game shop. Earn a certain amount of reward points to increase the Reward Road level and unlock rewards. You can earn twice as many reward points when you shop on the web store. Reward Road starts over each calendar month. Reward points and Reward Road levels will reset on the last day of the month at 23:59 UTC. So be sure to claim your rewards before the end of the month. So now this is where it kind of gets a little complicated. I went through this process just to do it. And if you are the sort of person that's like, oh, I've heard about the web store, but I've never actually been there, this is where you might get tripped up, because of course the entire experience can't just be in the app, because the idea is to get you over to the web store. Oh, wow, a deal. Oh, wow, a personalized sale. Oh, I gotta buy this. How to earn and claim rewards. Make an eligible purchase on the web store or in-game shop to earn reward points. Again, you earn twice as many points if you purchase it on the web store. So again, they're getting more and more aggressive about pushing you to the web store. And honestly, if you're going to spend the money, like Kyle and I have been on the record saying, it is just objectively better value. They add little freebies. Even if it's just 3 rare candy, it's technically better. You know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Earn reward points to level up the reward. Yeah. And then visit the Pokemon Go web store to claim unlocked rewards. You will kind of see them in app, but you will try tapping them and they will do nothing. You have to go to the web store to actually get them. Now, before we talk about what the rewards are, just to kind of give you all an idea, Kyle, have you interfaced with this at all? Have you made any purchases just to kind of do it?
No, I mean, I looked at the track and stuff like that, but I haven't bought anything.
Okay, I bought a hatch box and I wasn't running too low, but I was like, I'm going to buy something just to see how this works. I might as well buy incubators. So I did. And it, once you find out that you have to go to the web store, it's not super, super bad, but it's not obvious. And there are visual indications in the game that make it seem like I was saying, you can just tap on those things and get them. And it's kind of confusing. So once we all get our heads around it, I think it'll be fine. But that's the way it works. So now, before we talk about this from an ethical standpoint and or the worth standpoint, let's talk about what the rewards are. And I do also want to take a second to acknowledge, Jacket, we got your email. I'm not going to read the email because we're going to have a whole conversation about this, but I'm acknowledging you, friend. We did get it. And yes, we'll talk about your concerns as well. So there are 10 levels in this April reward road. The first level gets you 3 stickers. The level 2 gets you 1 premium battle pass. Level 3 is 1 incense and 2 stickers. Level 4 is a lucky egg and 1 star piece. Level 5 is 2 lure modules and 8 stickers. They love putting stickers in here. They're just free fillers. I think they make the tiers look more appealing. Level 6, 2 incubators, 2 incense, 2 stickers. Level 7, 4 premium battle passes, 3 max revives, 3 max potions. Level 8, 4 incubators, 3 silver peanut berries, 3 golden raspberries. I could do without the berries, guys. Level 9, 4 premium battle passes and 4 incubators. And level 10 is 6 premium battle passes, 6 incubators, and 6 stickers. Now, what I haven't done, and I should have done this, I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't see how much money you'd actually have to spend in order to max this bad boy out.
Would you like to know? Because I just checked.
I would love to know. Thank you for doing that.
If you only buy on this store, it's $250.
The web store or the in-game shop?
The web store.
Okay, so you have to spend $500 in the in-game store.
It is 6 points per dollar spent in the game itself. So 12 points because it's double, right, on the store? Yeah. So it is 6 points per dollar in-game, 12 points per dollar on the web store.
So how many points is it per level?
Well, the total is 3,000. I didn't check per level.
Oh, okay.
It's not linear scaling. 9 to 10 is 1,000, but 7 to 8 is only 400.
Okay, that makes sense based on how big those rewards are. But you can kind of do like the first 4 or 5 levels without spending over much. I think my one hatch box got me to like level 3 or 4 or something like that.
Yeah, level 3 is 100 points. So
yeah. So I'm pretty sure I spent enough to get to 3 in like one go, and I haven't spent more since because I haven't needed to. So that there's that. All right, so Kyle, let's talk about this from a very real boots on the ground standpoint, right? Is this good or bad or neither?
That's an objective question, and I have subjective feelings.
Okay, well, let's start with subjective feelings. Maybe we can find our way there.
I hate this.
Okay.
Right. Strong feelings against this. I think from an objective standpoint, it's not a negative necessarily. But it's a feature that really, and this is coming from somebody who plays a lot of gacha games, really incentivizes or encourages people to spend more money.
Yeah.
Come around to, April 25th, April 28th or whatever, and you maybe have been spending money for events and everything. You're level 7 and you're like, well, if I just spent, a little bit more, I could get to level 9. That's definitely the idea behind it, because somebody who's spending $250 a month without thinking about it doesn't need these rewards. They don't care.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I've been there in Go. I would not care if I got, let's face it, at the end of the day, this is like maybe $20 worth of stuff. Maybe. If you account for box discounts, not wholesale prices.
Yeah, if you threw all of this in a box,
yeah,
this is probably a $29.99 box at the worst.
At most.
Yeah.
It is 25 battle passes. So it's 25 raid passes. That's the real purchase here, whatever you want to value that at. And another 25 regular incubators, I believe.
You're not going to... Yeah, if they were
incubators.
I am a little annoyed that they're not super incubators, personally.
So I hate this because it's really indicative, or really not. That's the wrong word. It's very similar to how a lot of other mobile games operate. Not necessarily gachas, but it's common, where they have tracks that fill up based on how much you've spent for the month or for your account's lifetime. And you get VIP points or something that unlocks permanent upgrades towards your accounts. Chris is familiar with that one. He's shaking his head. And then this, resets at the end of the month. You get to do it all over again. So on paper, this doesn't affect the average person. It doesn't change anything. But just the psychology of it existing, I really, really don't like.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And I think if somebody is to have a negative opinion about this, that's the opinion to have, is that it's like, oh, this is just a little toxic, even if I don't have to deal with it at all, if I don't want to. The rewards aren't even like kind of worth it. Like most people aren't going to go for it, right? Like $250 for 25 battle passes or whatever, plus some other slop. Because let's be honest, 2-star pieces and like it's 40 stickers or whatever. It's not even that many stickers.
Like
that's slop.
I mean, the stickers literally don't exist. Max potions, max revives. Sure, golden and silver berries can count, I guess.
Regular incubators too. It's fine, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, it's not going to. Nobody's going to do this for these items. They're going to do it for the psychological reasons that you already laid out. Like hey, I've spent $65 already this month. If I spend $5 more on something, I guess I'll hit the next level, and me hitting the next level in this risk reward road thing will make me feel good, even if it's unnecessary and a waste of money. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's built to lure you into making that $5 whatever purchase. Right. And so what happens is that this preys on the most vulnerable among the trainers. Right. Because it will take advantage of people that have less self-control for these sorts of things. And that's how a lot of these mobile gacha games work that we've talked about in the past, that Kyle and I have talked about, some with personal experience and some with just, an arm's length.
Yeah.
So I think, man, I'm right with you. I think it's a bad precedent, but ultimately it's neutral. It doesn't really matter. And if you're going to spend money regularly, if you're the sort of person that has like, oh, I budget $20 or $40 or whatever it is per month for a Go, you're just going to get more if you can manage to stop yourself because you don't care where you land on the reward road. You're going to get your stickers in a free pass or whatever. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But knowing that there are people in level 7 and level 8 that are probably going to like not pay a bill because they want to hit that next tier kind of sucks in my head.
Yeah. Let me just say, if you don't track your Pokemon Go spending, pay attention to this. It might it might give you a rude awakening for how much you spend on Go. If you're not adding it all up.
That. Yeah, it might backfire a little bit on him.
Yeah. Chris come April 30th and be like, hey, so how much money did you spend on Go this month?
That's not fair. There's a lot of hatching events in April. Leave me alone.
Exactly. They know what they're doing.
This will get GoCast Chris for sure. For sure. Oh man. Yeah, there's a little bit of shame, I think, associated with this too. If you're like, oh, I hit level 8, but I don't want my friends to know I hit level 8.
Imagine if they made it public knowledge.
Oh my god, could you imagine? It's
you
like
could see your you could see your friends list reward track level.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, but they should do that for the Go Pass.
They should do that for the Go Pass.
That'd be great.
Okay. This reward road thing would be unacceptable if they made a medal that you could do that was like reach at least level 5, or like reach, if it was higher than that, that'd be crazy. It's like reach so level 10 on the battle pass 12 months for a platinum medal. Could you imagine, dude?
Sure, yeah, sounds great.
Toxic. Well, anyway, there's that. I mean, take it or leave it. It again, like we said, it's rather neutral. If you struggle with self-control with spending on these games, it is never worth it in the long run. It's not.
And also, just to be clear, the only thing, if you spend money on Go, you should be spending money on is inventory space.
Yeah, probably.
Like that's what
probably. Yeah.
You'll always feel bad. You will very frequently feel bad after you hatch an egg or do a raid. You'll never feel bad that you have 100 more inventory space.
Yeah. That's a good argument. I just like hatching though, so unfortunately.
You could hatch one at a time.
Who wants to do that?
Hey, you'll be back in marathon shape in no time if you have to hatch one egg at a time.
Oh, that's so true, though. That's so true. No, I just probably simply won't hatch eggs. It'll be like, oh, I hatched 10 this week. Wow. Okay. Well, that's that. So
I've hatched 4 so far this week.
Good work.
1 per day.
That's great. Let me check now that we're talking about it. I think I'm not doing 24. Not too much better, but we'll see what the weekend holds. 24. Okay.
24 hatches is literally the equivalent of like $10.
Yeah, but think of all the happiness.
It's 8 incubators.
I will say
8 super incubators. That is $24 if you didn't have a discount. So it's probably more like $10. Yeah, that was okay.
I did hatch a 98% shiny why not last week that I forgot to mention.
Oh, I hatched a shiny why not 2 weeks ago.
Oh, but was it good?
Was it good? I don't think it was. No, it was horrendously bad.
Horrendously bad, he says.
It's like 11, 12.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, that's it for the news, which means that we're going to take a quick little break. When we come back, it'll be Pokélore time. And then the end of the show. See you there.
And we're back with Pokélore. This week we're doing Taurus, the wild bull Pokemon. Taurus is a quadrupedal bovine Pokemon. It's covered in light brown fur with a thick, darker brown mane around the neck. It has a hump on its shoulders, a rounded muzzle with a dark brown nose, a small triangular eyes, 3 gray bumps running vertically down its forehead, and a pair of curved gray horns growing from atop its head. Each of its 3 black tails has a tuft of fur on the end, and there is a single gray hoof on each foot. I'd be worried if there was more. Taurus is a male-only species.
That's right. Boys only.
Taurus is a violent, rowdy Pokemon that whips itself into a frenzy using its 3 tails. It serves as a warning to others that Taurus is about to charge with astonishing speed. Once it starts charging, it is unable to stop or change course until it hits something. It's the Juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
Taurus are capable of smashing through large boulders when charging. It lives and travels in herds on plains and grasslands. It will lock horns with others of its kind, and the herd's protector takes pride in its battle-scarred horns.
Ooh.
Sounds like something out of Monster Hunter.
A little bit.
If only it looked like it.
Title update tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah. In Paldea, Taurus has 3 separate regional forms: Combat Breed, Blaze Breed, and Aqua Breed. All 3 forms of Paldean Taurus are covered in dark gray fur and a thick black mane, gray horns, black hooves, and a dark gray tails with black tips. Each form also has 3 gray bumps running vertically on its forehead, increasing in size from top to bottom. The physical difference between the 3 forms are visible on the shapes of their horns, manes, and tails. The 3 forms of Paldean Tauros are known as the Wild Bulls of Paldea.
Wild bulls.
The combat breed of Paldean Tauros has a short, rounded, almost straight horns, and its mane and tails are shaped similarly to Cantonian Tauros. Combat breed Paldean Tauros is too many words. Oh my god! It's known for its thick, powerful muscles and aggressive nature. Thanks to its muscular body, it is skilled at close quarters combat, able to use its horns to strike at its opponent's weak spots. The Blaze breed has sharp horns, pointing forward and bent at right angles. Its mane is spiky with streaks of red, and its tails are intertwined. Blaze breed Tauros earns its name from the hot air it breathes from its nostrils. When it's channeling its fire energy, the bumps and horns on Blaze breed Taurus' head will glow. The horns can reach a temperature of over 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 1,000 degrees Celsius.
Oh my gosh.
Causing anyone gored by them to suffer both wounds and burns. Burns is an understatement. Thank you, Pokédex.
Yeah, that's kind of like a vaporizing thing.
Yeah.
I gotta check. How hot does Slugma get again?
Was it like thousands or something? It's like hot as the surface of the sun or something.
Oh, yeah, 18,000. Never mind. I thought that might be.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
That said, also, it doesn't say here. Blaze breed is firefighting.
Yeah.
Love typing.
Oh, also combat breed, because we glazed over it, is fighting type, which is super
just
different.
Fighting type. Yep.
Yeah.
The aqua breed of Tauros has horns that usually point upward but can rotate backward. Each horn has 2 round bulbous forms and a hole on its tip. Its mane flows downward and it's shaped like a beard with 5 teardrop-shaped blue accents on it. Its tails are usually straight but can bend to form a propeller shape, which aids it in swimming. Aqua breed Tauros is recognized for its high body fat, which allows it to float easily in the water. It swims by unleashing high-pressured jets of water from its horns, as well as using its tails to propel itself. It can use the same water jets to pierce right through any enemy it hits. The bumps and horns on Aqua breed Taurus' head will glow light blue when it attacks.
And it looks rad.
And needless to say, it is water fighting. So,
yes.
What hole are they talking about?
It shoots like water out of its horns.
Oh, okay. Just the way they describe it, I expect to see it in the
no,
and you cannot.
No, it's literally just an in-world excuse, an in-universe excuse me, for why they can use water moves like that. Because they're not spitting water gun out like Squirtle. You know what I mean? It's from their magical horns that apparently rotate. I didn't realize that.
They rotate.
That's weird.
All right, a max CP at level 40 of 2620, level 50 of 2962. It's 181 stamina, 183 defense, and 198 attack. Now, the best moveset it's kind of a mess. Let's be honest.
I should say, and I should have said this before you got started with the stats, that this is just for regular Tauros. I could not readily find the Paldean Tauros stuff quickly, so I only took those. I don't even know if the stats change. I'm not sure if they do.
They do. Paldean Tauros has less attack and more defense by a very small amount.
That doesn't make any sense.
Nope. But so yeah, the numbers will be a little bit different for Paldean Tauros, but not by a crazy amount. It's like 10 less 10 less special attack for 10 more defense.
Oh, I guess.
And it was already technically a physically attack Pokemon, so the physical attack is weighted more.
Right.
Best moveset for regular Tauros, Cantonian Tauros, Zen Headbutt with Earthquake and Trailblaze. I'm going to assume that's a PvP moveset, right? Like,
no.
It just doesn't know. It just doesn't know anything, huh?
So the other quick move is Tackle. and looking on Game Press, Zen Headbutt had a higher DPS. So I went with that one here, and it knows like Horn Attack and like one other move. I think an electric move or something like that. Might be Wild Charge, and Earthquake and Trailblaze were better.
Tauros doesn't have much of a place in Go, unfortunately. If you're going to use it in PvP, it looks like the use is Tackle with Trailblaze and Horn Attack, but it's bad.
Yeah.
That said, with
Tackle, great.
Well, I mean, they buffed Tackle like a year and a half ago or something like that.
I know it to me, like that's true, and I'm sure the numbers bear out. They do. But what a crazy thing to say that like, oh, you want to take Tackle because they're gonna get stab on it. Like, I don't want to hear that.
Well, the problem is that Zen Headbutt is just garbage in PvP.
For sure. It's a good gym defender move.
Oh God. That said, possible movesets has Aquatauros as pretty okay. The theoretical moveset has it at 200-ish in Great League, which is not great, but it's certainly better than a lot of Pokemon could be.
Well, though that information should be accurate or updated to be accurate soon, because the event where these come out started like today, which is why I chose it for Pokélore.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Double Kick, Aqua Jet, and Trailblaze on your Aquatauros.
That's actually such a cool moveset.
And then Combat has Close Combat instead of Aqua Jet, and Blaze has Flame Charge instead of
Flame
Aqua
Charge. Got a little
Those
bit of
two
ramp in there.
Combat and Blaze are not very good, but
whatever, dude. If you want to take your Fire Bull in there, that's great. Your Red Bull, great. Okay. Right. You like Tauros, man?
It's kind of whatever. Like, it's fine. I like Paldean Tauros, but I don't care for the fact that it has 3 forms for not like great reasons. I would have liked one form that evolves and like was really cool instead, but
they should have just, for Paldea, they should have just bit the bullet and been like, wow, we now realize that Tauros actually evolves into Bouffalant. We were wrong the whole time. but no, of course not. That's not the Pokemon way. It's to do this. And I will say, man, all right, Tauros is a Kanto Pokemon, so it's from the OG, which means it gets invited to all of the parties. It always has and always will be. If Tauros ain't there, it ain't a party, right? But the trailers for Paldea, when those came out, and we saw Combat Breed first came out, and we're all like, holy cow. Choice of words.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Is that a black Tauros? What's happening here? And then you see the red one and the blue one, and you're like, what are we doing? This is crazy. And now, did it deserve that excitement? Absolutely not. But it did still cause that excitement. So I think it gets a bit of credit for that.
Sure, but also I think anytime we get a regional form, it's going to cause that reaction, no matter what Pokemon gets it.
Yeah, I just Tauros to get a little bit of an extra treatment was kind of cool. I
don't think they did them very good. So
I think the designs for Blaze and for the Aqua one are awesome.
They're fine. I think it would have been. I would have liked to see Combat evolve into a split evolution Blaze or Aqua instead. You could give it a little higher base stat total, and you could have maybe gone even more extra on the design.
Could have. And do we think really quick? Do we think that it is any meaning behind that these two are also the Nintendo Switch colors?
No.
Oh, that would have been cool. Could you imagine if they made a custom Nintendo Switch that had like the Tauros Blaze red instead of like that soft like light pink thing, and instead of baby blue the aqua blue? Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Look, my takeaway is that if we're rating all regional variants, Tauros is in the bottom half of regional variants.
All right. Whenever. Anyway, let's go into the poll, shall we? This is making me sad.
All right, for last week's PokéPoll, we had The Pokemon Go Plus Plus is arguably a necessity for serious trainers. If you could design another accessory for Pokemon Go, what would it be, do, and look like? Carlos said, I want a treadmill / elliptical / stationary workout tracking accessory / app. Winter in the northern Midwest absolutely sucks to play outside. Cold fingers not tracking on touchscreens, battery drain, and unclear paths are banes of outdoor winter play. I know the solution is to go play at the localish mega mall, but when there's an event every weekend, it becomes overly stale both in and out of game to walk the same loop. So
That's
true.
Very fair. We've been doing this for years. That's very true.
Oh man, if they had would you buy like a stationary bike that guaranteed to accurately track the distance that you traveled on it in Go?
Yes.
I also think I might.
Yeah.
I think I genuinely might.
Yeah,
that would be crazy.
That's the sort of thing that I like invest in. That's why I like Fitbits worked really well for me in high school and stuff. Like you gamified a bit like that, and like I'm in, man.
Yeah, I when I was still living in my dad's house, he had an elliptical, and I would use it regularly a couple times a week. And I'd have my phone in my pocket, and it would track it well enough.
Yeah,
but like not that great. And
Not good
also,
enough.
I kind of would like to have my phone out so I could like maybe read a book while I was doing my elliptical or something. But I couldn't do that because it's got to be in your pocket or it doesn't track the movement properly or whatever.
Yeah. That's
so. I love that idea. Never happened, but man, would that be a fun idea?
When I was marathon training, I had a armband for my phone, for my music, and also just have the phone because that's a good idea to have while you're out and about. I remember having specific places where I would stop and pull out my phone to A, check that the plus was still connected, and B, spin stops. And then ultimately, I had to learn how to do that while still running at pace because I was trying to hit certain time thresholds. And that got pretty dangerous. Running at like, your pace after you've been running for like 8 miles and looking at your phone, you can't really play Pokemon Go and do that.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, so a more elegant solution like a stationary bike that does the tracking for you and all that is, I think, a better way to go. Yeah.
Our last response is from Mac825, and they said, my response isn't a device per se. I want web access to use my computer to help with Pokemon and item management. I hate having to meander through my phone and its limited battery to manage my inventory. Web access would be amazing. Thanks for the show. Sorry for the long email. I'm so for this. Oh my God. Yeah. If I could access my Pokemon inventory from the computer, it would be so much easier to sort. I would probably do it.
Yeah, I'd actually probably manage my inventory. Yeah.
It's such a good idea. It's just give me like a home interface, but on the computer. It's so good. Oh my God.
Yep. I love this email. Great idea.
And like, don't hit me with you can emulate your phone on your computer. I don't want to hear it. It's not the same. Doesn't actually make it computer friendly. It just puts a touchscreen on your computer monitor, which is not fun.
Plus, that's not even what we're talking about. We're talking about like seeing a 10x10 grid and being able to manage those Pokemon. You know what I mean? Instead of the 3 across and like 4 down and you have to scroll,
Yeah. All right. So this week's PokéPoll is, do you think leveraging FOMO to sell more items, tickets, etc. is acceptable or not?
FOMO, for those at home that might not know, is the fear of missing out, and it is kind of what we were talking about earlier. I mean, it's not as maliciously predatory, but it's like saying, hey, this thing is going to be in a ticketed event, and you might never see it again, so you better buy the ticket. That's a good example of FOMO.
Yeah,
I feel like we kind of talked about this before in previous shows, but also in this show when it comes down to is it ethical or not. Sort of thing. And I think this boils down to me. I'm going to be really brief so that you can expand as much as you want, Kyle. Mm-hmm. But this boils down to, does this take advantage of the most vulnerable amongst us or not? And how much of that is acceptable? Because of course, yes, they have to make money. To is it egregious to the point of it feeling really bad to even the people that it's not affecting, So I think they've gotten pretty good at it. I think having a free version and a paid version of a thing, when they do that, that's always good.
Yeah. I think that for the most part, there's not a lot of leveraging FOMO from what Pokemon Go sells anymore. I had to think about that for a second because it used to be much more true. There's plenty of stuff they're trying to sell you all the time, but they're not selling you access to the hatch day. For example, they're selling you access to major events, which they should. That's what those events are designed for. It's fine. But they're not selling 2 Mr. Rhymes for $1 or for $8 or whatever that was. Or a Keldeo for $8. We still don't have that.
Persists to be the only real example of that. Yeah.
Well, Mr. Mime was until it was finally released, but it was like 2.5 years later or something like that.
Yeah, but I think that happened. I think it was actually a shorter amount of time than that. I think it was like a year. But we haven't gotten Keldeo, and it's been a really long time. That, regardless of how long, even if they do it, it's still unacceptable in my mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't think leveraging FOMO is to sell more things is acceptable. I do think they've done a pretty okay job lately about FOMO and making people feel bad about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's my perspective of being able to say no to things more and go, because I used to have to say yes, or I used to want to say yes to everything because of the FOMO, because of otherwise.
Yeah.
But I think the game has been better about it lately. I'd love to hear other perspectives, someone who feels like the FOMO is really twisting their arm, because I'm totally open to hear that.
Yeah, I think I'm in a similar boat because in the past couple of years, I've been talking about this on the show here and there, but I've been really working on my FOMO of and this manifests differently for me because I still buy the tickets to stuff. It's not like I don't, but I am able to, right? It's not like it destroys my ability to do other things, right? That's not what we're talking about. But I'm able to play a 3-hour research day for 30 minutes, finish the stuff, and then just be okay with leaving, right? And that was okay because the nature of the research did not require me to stay out for 3 hours total. So again, good design choice on them to be like, hey, here's the 3-hour period. You can finish this in 20 minutes. Right. So I think I'm with you, and that we need other perspectives because we have, like you've said earlier in the show, a rather privileged perspective we have had in the past and still do in many ways. So I think this is a good time to say, if you, dear listener, have an answer to this week's Pokéball question, which was, again, do you think leveraging FOMO to sell more items, tickets, etc. is acceptable or not? You can answer that question. We post it on our X or Threads account at GOCast Podcast. If you are a patron of ours via Patreon, you can post it in our PokéPoll specific channel in the Discord server. You can also reply to the episode or leave a comment, I think it is, on Spotify if you're watching / listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, just leave a comment under this video with your response and we'll take it from there. Also, hello, please subscribe while you're there. By the way, we've gotten like 20 more subscribers since last week, so thank you all for doing that. If you haven't already supported the YouTube channel, please go drop a subscribe. We're getting pretty close to 800, which means we're only 200 away from the goal for like... I'm just going to probably say the year, but I wanted to do it before GoFest, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. You can also send us an email to mail@gocastpodcast.com with your response, or call in our voicemail line, which is 262-586-7717. And speaking of emails and voicemails, Mr. Kyle, where in the show are we?
It's time for emails.
Oh, that's true. And one singular voicemail, which will sort of serve as a, what's it called? What's the thing where you have to retake back what? Retraction.
Retraction. Yeah, it's a retraction. We saved it. We saved it for this part of the show. We have a retraction. Should have said it at the start of the show.
Should have. But here we go. This is from Sarah Amanda.
Hey, GoCast. Sarah Amanda here. So I just wanted to chime in a bit about the little discussion about item sharing from last episode. So in Ingress, you can't actually drop any item in the capsule. You can't do the premium items, so you can't do the Apex, which is basically like the Lucky Egg in Pokemon Go, and I don't think you can do Fracker, and I don't know what a Fracker is, but the point is, you can only do common stuff that anybody can just, like Pokeball. Like, it would be the equivalent of dropping Pokeballs and berries. That being said, yeah, you can't do that in Pokemon Go. I mean, it's pretty easy to get those kinds of items. I mean, if you have access to stops and stuff, it would be nice if you could give someone, like, here's 1,000 Pokeballs because I don't need them. But that might just encourage weird backpacking account stuff.
Probably.
Which Ingress has that
100%.
issue. Anyway, so moving on, party feature. So in party feature, it doesn't actually divide the item use evenly. It divides it in half. It doesn't matter how many people are in the party. So if you have a party of 4 and use a star piece, each star piece is divided in half, so it's 15 minutes. And so on last community day, we had a party of 4 people, and each person used 3 star pieces, and so we had 3 hours worth of star piecing from just contributing 3 to the group. That's great. There is a limit of how many items you can share in a party, so like you can only use up to 4 star pieces, which sucks because I have 57 star pieces and 57 lucky eggs. And I have that many because whenever I buy a box of premium raid passes, it almost always comes with some other item that's not a premium raid pass. I don't want the other item, but they're like, here, have some more lucky eggs. And I kind of just cry in a corner because I don't want the lucky egg. And
That's
I can't
so
bring myself
real.
to just throw it in the trash, but I can't bring myself to just use it when I'm not going to get a lot of XP because I'm a min-maxer. And so now I just, when I'm in a party of 4 people, I go, well, great, here, new people, you can have lucky egg stuff and be happy. That's all. Peace. Sarah Amanda.
All right. Yeah, so for the record, the
Yeah.
retraction bit of that was the sharing item thing. Learning about the item drop stuff in Ingress or not having that is, or rather, how item sharing in Ingress works is interesting too. Yeah, and having a community of extra backpacking accounts is probably antithetical to a nice, robust, unique, true community, because I'm sure multi-accounting is already a problem for other reasons. They don't need to add more fuel to the fire with stuff like that. So that makes more sense about the dropping stuff. But thanks very much, Sarah Meta, for the voicemail. Appreciate it. A very, very invaluable insight as always.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning though that makes it so much better than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Like if you're with at least 4 people that already uses premium items, it's really good. Like that's a great thing. I had no idea. I had misunderstood the system, and I also didn't interact with it, so it's fair. I didn't know it, I guess.
If I could get a group of 3 other people that are committed to not doing the task, but to just sit there and share buffs, that might be the only scenario where I'm like,
that's fair.
okay, I'll do party play. Because I just can't be bothered, man. I just can't.
Then we got Mr. Moneybags over here.
I hate the tasks. I hate the tasks so much.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. It's so obnoxious. Tandem Mouse, though, you know? Anyway, thanks again, Sarah Mander, for the voicemail. And no emails. We did mention that we got one from Jacket K, though. So thank you for the input earlier, Jacket. Appreciate that. All right, it is the end of the show. So like I said before, if you all want to send us an email, you can to mail@gocastpodcast.com. Our voicemail line to call in and leave a voicemail under 3 minutes is 262-586-7717. Visit our website for all things GoCast at gocastpodcast.com. Follow us on X and Threads at GoCast Podcast. And if you'd like to help support the show and keep it going, you can via Patreon. That's spelled Patreon.com. And then use / GoCast Podcast, or just Google us. Our SEO is very good. Okay. And shout out to our Elite Trainer tier patrons. Speaking of patrons, and it's my turn this time, Kyle. You get to sit back and enjoy. We have a new name at the end, too. I'm very excited. Okay. Big thank you to our Elite Trainer tier patrons. Thank you, Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin, and Mimi, Swartz, Rasui, and Ryan, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Modders, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Stephen, Nick, our favorite listener, Drew2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, Victoria, Sarah, Memorandums, Nabil, Tish, Jacob, Matthew, Don, John, Paul, Micah, Sean, Dave, Nessical, and Purple Opal. Thank you all very, very much for your generous support and for helping us keep the digital lights on, among other things. Y'all are the best. And if you want to help support the show without giving us any moolah, or you already have supported the show monetarily, but want to do more support, which thank you, you're the best person on the planet, please consider leaving a review. I can't view Apple reviews right now for some reason. The button is literally gone from the Apple Podcasts Connect platform. I can't see it. So I got to figure out what's going on with that so I can start reading them again. But if you leave a review, we will do our best efforts to find them and read them. So thank you, please. That would be great. Okay, so we got to set some goals, Mr. Kyle, and then we get to skedaddle. Upcoming events for this weekend. It's a twofer. This Saturday is Mega Audino Raid Day, and this Sunday is Tyrogue Hatch Day. Very excited for the Hatch Day. So what are you looking to get? Oh, and also I guess Stunning Styles is happening this week too. So if you have anything with that, you could also set a goal there. So what are you thinking, feeling? Where are you at?
All right. I want to make sure I get to Paldean Tauros, however they're around. How are they spawning? I don't even remember reading about this event. I'm not gonna lie. I have no idea.
Hang on a second. I'll look it up while you do your other goals. Because I was here before and I was like, I don't know. Please don't ask me.
350k experience. I want to make special research progress. We just got the Marshadow one, and I've got a couple other ones that are really close to being finished. I just have to do some raids, which I just have not wanted to do. Got to go do some of the free ones I've got.
3-star raids is the answer.
Okay, well there you go. Perfect. Gonna do that. I want to do 2 Mega Audino. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping somebody will invite me to some that have things. Yeah. I'm not going to see where my local community is doing it. I'm not that interested in Mega Audino. I just need the energy.
That's fair enough.
That's it.
Okay. And I would like you to go.
Oh, there's a Paldean Tauros right over there. I could go do that right after we're done if I wanted to.
You could, or you could remote it for extra money.
I could remote it for extra money.
Okay, for myself, some context for this. I have to be in downtown Chicago this Saturday to kind of bust my sister around. She injured her foot, so she's got to be there for a professional reason, and so I'm going to be a good brother and go help her out. That said, I'm going to be in the best environment to go hard for the one event out of the 2 I don't care about, which is the Mega Audino Raid Day. So my first goal is going to be getting all the new Tauros, and hopefully over the weekend and also during the week, I am able to find all 3 of those in 3-star raids and finish them and get them and all that good stuff. So Combat, Aqua, Blaze. I just put down many Mega Audino raids because I figure I'll probably just do as many as people are willing to do. And in the city, everybody's willing to do pretty much all of them, regardless of what it is. 100 eggs hatched. I already got 24, like I said earlier. And since there's going to be hatch bonuses pretty much starting Friday through the weekend, and I'll be downtown all day walking around, and then again for hatch day on Sunday at home, I should be able to do that, probably more. 5 shiny Tyrogue from the hatch day because I intend to, again, go hard. And then 5 shinies otherwise. I think the majority of those will probably be Audino that I just happened to get. And I'm like, yay. Great. So that's that. Thank you all so much for listening. And especially if you made it all the way to the end, you're the best. We'll see you next week for episode 321. Good luck this weekend with your Mega Audino, your Tyrogue hatching, and your Stunning Styles event. Until then, shiny vibes and all that good stuff. Bye-bye.
Bye.